Hey guys, Futureman19 here, and I believe that it is time to finally tell you the truth about me, of why I created this channel. I made this channel for several reasons, but it all coalesces into one giant purpose. It is something that I could not have explained in a single video, and if you have watched all of my previous videos and really paid attention to them, you would realize this bigger purpose. All of my videos are carefully thought out and thoroughly researched before I make them, so I am never giving you my opinion, but what I know to be the 100% truth. All my videos paint a bigger picture of what the future will become, at least on this timeline. My name is Futureman19 because I was sent here from the future, or at least to help steer the future away from where it is heading, and this is the 19th time that I have done this. My consciousness was sent here from the 5th density. I am what you call a wanderer or a traveler through what we know as time. A wanderer is a consciousness that travels across the galaxy to help restore the balance in a world that needs it most. So I thought it was time to tell you a little more about myself. Futureman is a show on Hulu that is about someone who travels with his two companions through time to try and change the future from a disaster occurring. Futureman begins as a story about a video gamer who defeats an impossible game that people from the future had put there in his present time to see who could beat the game, who would then ultimately become the chosen one that saves the world. In the future, there is a deadly virus that will wipe out a good chunk of the world, but the main threat isn't the virus itself. It is the vaccine of the virus that is the cause for the most concern. So his job is to prevent the past, what is now his present, from ever creating the vaccine. Because the vaccine turns the people who take it into a sort of hive mind-like race that loses all their personal freedoms like freedom of thought or self-expression. These people are called the biotics. This show began less than 2 months after I had uploaded my first video on this channel. To put it bluntly, the show is about me. I believe Futureman the TV show was made in direct opposition to what I was doing here because it lessened the chance for more people to be able to find my channel without stumbling over the Hulu show Futureman first. Like if you were to search Futureman on YouTube, this show would be all over it, essentially bearing my own content. But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the show immensely because of the humorous reenactments from my very own life that they have been portraying dramatically. Most of the scenes in that show could easily parallel events from my own life. Like for instance, I am a huge gamer. I have been gaming for about 30 years starting with the Atari. The Futureman in the Hulu show also has a menial job that is mainly made up of physical labor and cleaning up after people. I unfortunately also share his same circumstances. The biotics, the main villains in the show, are actually figures of my imagination that I had created when I was very young. I had used to draw these villains that I called the biotics, but I spelled it with a K instead of a C, that were sort of these artificially enhanced humans, and they were up against what I called the muscle men, who are essentially the good guys. Humans that were natural and muscly. That's why I called them the muscle men. I know that isn't very creative, but I was about 5 at the time. And oddly enough, they look very similar to how one of Futureman's companions looked, named Wolf. Eventually, Futureman and his friends end up in a place they call Haven. Haven is a timeless place that is quite beautiful in its simplicity. It is a place that is almost exactly like what I saw in my dream when I was very little. It has beautiful scenery like from my dream. It is a place that I would consider as heaven, only what they call it on the show is Haven. Haven is also timeless, time having no effect there. There is also a small cottage that is almost identical to the one that I had in my dream. The cottage in Haven also has a single window that is looking out into what seems like a dark purplish void that has no business of being there. This is the same purplish void that I had seen in my own dream. They also say at the very end of the show that Futureman was based on a true story. They were obviously joking about it, but they actually weren't wrong. I suppose that the universe has a way of being holographic in nature, where the universe always reflects back to you to try and communicate with you in a way. This is how the universe has always communicated to me through TV shows and movies that I watch. And although this show was very over the top, it was still, from what I saw, basically a good representation of my own life.
Who are you?
I'm Futureman.
So what does this all mean? Why is the universe, or what we can call the Matrix reality, seemingly replicating or mimicking my life into its very own fabric? Like I have said, I am not here to gloat or to ring my own bell. I am only here to show you the truth, and the only way that I could have explained it to you was to experience it for you. I was here to experience the truth so that you would realize all the possibilities of that truth, the possibilities that lie within our own consciousness.
We can create newer, better versions of who we are, open to all of life's wonders and possibilities.